Hey, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Boon of Wireless podcast, now part of Wirelo. Yes, Wirelo is revolutionizing the way businesses in the wireless industry connect, collaborate, and thrive. As a premier B2B marketplace, Wireless platform is designed to cater specifically to the needs of the wireless store vendors in America. Check them out at wirelo.com. I am your host, Jon Horovitz, coming to you always high above the streets of northern New Jersey at ANJ Media. Andrew, behind the glass, it is good to see you today.
It's always good to be seen,
You
John.
say that every episode. So there's something new here. I may look in a different, no pun intended, light, but Andrew in the studio has put all new lighting in. Do I look any different to you or not?
You're shining.
I'm shining. Well, I think we're going to shine today because we have a wonderful guest and we have great information about the prepaid industry that we're going to discuss, as well as it's coming up, folks. Got about 3.5 weeks, I think, till the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo, and we're going to chat a little bit about that as well. So my guest today is making a return appearance, Jeff Moore. Jeff is a principal of Wave 7 Research. He last joined us on the podcast in December of 2025 and spoke about all the good things that his company does to provide information to the dealers and the decisions out there. He has 30 years of telecom industry experience, and he worked for Sprint for 13 of those years. Jeff has managed Wave 7 Research since founding it in 2015. He also writes a monthly column for RCR Wireless, and he is the conference director of the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. Also impressed again that Jeff holds an MBA from Cornell University, an Ivy Leaguer among us. And he's coming to us today from Kansas City. So please join me in welcoming back to the broadcast, Jeff Moore. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to see you again. I know we chat. I know that in your role as a director of the conference, we've been spending a lot of time together. Because we're both going to be doing some things out there. So, yeah, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you back. So before we go into like details about the latest with the U.S. Prepaid market, let's talk about the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo. That's coming up pretty soon in August, 19th and 20th. That'll be at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Let's talk about your role there and what are you looking to see this year?
Yeah, John. So as conference director, I'll be up on stage all day. And I know that you'll be on stage for part of the day as well, because I believe that you're moderating a panel known as the MVNO Meets the Market.
Yeah. And hey, look, we have a graphic we're going to put up. We have a great panel. We have Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We have the Chief Revenue Officer from MobileX, Michael Lanzon. And also we have a gentleman that was on the podcast just last week from Wingtel Alpha, CEO Leo Levitt. So yeah, we're going to have a good discussion. And actually they gave us a lot of time because it's an important one and it's early in the morning too. So hopefully we'll have a lot of people there. So Jeff, what is the role of the director of this expo?
Yeah, my role is to invite all the speakers and then be the moderator on the stage, and also to kick off the conference with an overview of the prepaid wireless landscape. And then I'll be moderating a discussion between some of the top carrier executives. So we have top executives from Verizon Value, David Kim. We have Daniel Barsoom from KTAL, and we also have Darren Winfrey from SurgePays, which operates under the LinkUp mobile brand. So we'll have some top prepaid carriers on stage, and I'll be interviewing them before handing the reins over to you for the MVNO market and doing a variety of other sessions as well.
Very good. And, a cheap plug, I will have the Boon of Wireless will be on site again, and we'll be doing interviews and getting those put together for viewing by our fans out there in early, late August, I guess, early September. Okay, if I'm hearing about this for the first time and I want to attend, why should I attend this show? What is this go-to show that I hear about in the wireless business in the U.S.? Why is this the must-see attend for attendees?
Simply because it's the best networking opportunity in wireless. So last year we had about 4,900 attendees, and that makes us either the biggest or one of the two biggest shows in United States telecom among conferences. And we've been growing at a rapid pace. So we had the conference has been around since 2008, and now it's 2026, and it's been growing every year, growing quite rapidly, which is brings me to the reason why I think that if you're involved in the prepaid wireless industry at all, you need to attend because it's a lot easier to take one flight out to Las Vegas and have 10 or 15 meetings than to take 6 or 7 flights to Dallas, New York, San Francisco, Denver, and everywhere else for numerous meetings.
Yeah. So the exhibitors, I think there's over 150 exhibitors this year. Got a much bigger ballroom than we saw last year. There'll be dealers, master dealers, MVNOs, carriers, all the support folks that do everything that the dealers and MVNO need, a whole litany. How do I get more information if I want to attend? Where do I go to get in touch with the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo?
Yeah, just take a look at the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo. You can just check it out online and get in touch with people there and see what are the opportunities for exhibiting and for sponsoring and for attending. And then the one other thing I would throw out there, John, is that also we have the best nightlife among all the telecom conferences. We had several of the carriers who organized events last year. Verizon Value had an event, Gen Mobile had an event, Mobile X had an event, and we're planning a very good event schedule for after hours parties, which may actually be the best networking opportunities.
Talk to us about Wave 7, if people didn't catch you last year when you're on the podcast, what it is, what it does, who it's for.
Yeah, Wave 7 research tells the story of what's really going on in wireless. So we do not rely on what's out there in the press. We do original research. We actually visit hundreds of stores every month. We put out literally hundreds of slides of pictures from those visits to carrier retail. We talk to sources. We operate advertising and other databases. So we really have a granular knowledge about what's really going on in wireless.
Who reads those reports?
Big companies do. So large companies subscribe. Typically, they're carriers or investors, but also insurance companies, OEMs, and others who are involved in the telecom industry. It's definitely a B2B. We don't sell to consumers. We just sell to large businesses.
What if an MVNO or a large master dealer with 200-300 stores, prepaid stores, 2,000 prepaid stores, they can get their hands on this as well?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just go to wave7research.com or send me an email, jeffmoore@wave7research.com, and I'm on Twitter via @wave7jeff.
Your last survey, and again, explain the methodology here. Simple Mobile. What is it? You told me before we got on the air today that they won 41 of 44 top in your survey. What was the criteria there? And are you surprised that Simple, who's been around, God, it seems like forever, they're still winning, if that's what we want to call it, against people that have made big splashes? Total Wireless, Mobile X, Pure Talk. One, how do you declare them the quote unquote top prepaid brand out there? And then does it surprise you of their longevity?
The methodology of the survey is that we talk to 30 different multi-carrier independent prepaid dealers every quarter, and we've done this since the beginning of 2015. And we ask them 2 questions. The first question is, which prepaid wireless brands are you activating? And then the second question is, which one is getting the most activations, the second most activations, and then the third most activations? So the brand that it gets the most mentions as being activated is considered to be the winner. And so we've done this survey 44 times since the beginning of 2015, and 41 out of 44 surveys, the winner has been Simple Mobile. So we've seen consistent, strong performance from Simple Mobile formerly under TracFone management, now under Verizon
Right.
management, but we're continuing to see strong performance. And the other brand that is consistently performing very, very well in this channel is Ultra Mobile. So if Simple Mobile's won the survey 41 of 44 times, the other three victories have actually been Ultra Mobile, and Ultra Mobile, in fact, took second place in this survey.
Does it surprise you or upset you that these two companies that you mentioned, Simple and Ultra, are now owned by Verizon and T-Mobile, respectively? And a lot of people don't refer to them as MVNOs anymore. They refer to them as brands. Now, I know that when you send your folks into a retailer, those brands of the carriers are on the same shelf as traditional MVNOs, like Mobile X, Consumer Cellular, Red Pocket, H2O. What's your feeling on that now that the brand-owned MVNOs are still the most popular ones being sold?
Well, each brand still has its own distinction. So Simple Mobile still stands for a lot of the things that it stood for 5, 10, or 15 years ago. And that's true of other brands as well, Ultra Mobile, among H2O Wireless, among others. But that being said, that is one big evolution that we've seen in the last 6 or 7 years, is that nearly all of the most prominent brands in that survey are owned by the three big national carriers plus EchoStar, which still has
Right.
two of the brands that are in the survey. There are only three exceptions to that rule. So this answers the question. It seems like every week you hear about a new MVNO being announced, and there's some that
Yep.
have been out there 5, 10, 15 years, and where they sold. Well, they're not really being sold to a significant degree in the independent dealer channel because they don't pop up in our survey. There are three exceptions to this. H2O Wireless is mentioned by about half the dealers. They're independent. They're broadly sold. Leica Mobile still has a decent chunk of this. And one development that we've seen over the last year or so is that Mobile X is now taking a share. That out of 30 dealers surveyed, 7, 8, or 9 will always mention Mobile X as being activated.
Do you also look at national retail in your surveys?
We do. We cover national retail very closely. The main action there is with Walmart for the simple reason of they have enormous traffic. They have a tremendous number of brands. Straight Talk Wireless by itself has something like 9 million subscribers. So Walmart's definitely the 80-pound gorilla in national retail. Best Buy also has a healthy selection, and there are a variety of others. But Target is one where has sort of been the sick man of national retail as far as wireless is concerned. They did have market source reps at many of their stores, but that arrangement ended at the end of May, and now wireless there at Target is not what it used to be.
You shared with me a week or two ago when we were talking about the show that there's now 16,000 prepaid stores that are branded Metro, Cricket, Total, and Boost. And that number grew by about 200, probably led by the incredible expansion of Total Wireless. Where's the landscape going, do you think? More and more of these brands, not true MVNOs. I feel that's going to continue in that direction, but I'd like to get your opinion on that.
Well, taking one step back, had I told you in 2020 that the number of prepaid stores in 2026 would still be growing, people would have said that's completely insane. Everything's going to be done online. But I think that the continuing growth in the store count of prepaid wireless stores really is a reflection of the importance of the retail channel and of getting to know your customer in person and face to face. And to answer your question about what's underlying this, I think most of it is the growth of the total wireless channel. So there are more than 2,300 total wireless stores now. That number has been growing rapidly for the last couple of years. So that's the main reason why we're reporting growth in that number of stores. But also we saw a slight uptick in the number of Cricket stores between mid 25 and mid 26. They're still opening stores for sure. Slight fall off in the number of Boost stores and in Metro stores.
Well, we're in the middle of the summer. How is prepaid competition going right now?
Well, one of my favorite sources always used to refer to the J months as being the bad months of prepaid wireless. She was referring to January, which the holidays are already over. It's very cold and not a lot of transactions, and it's before tax season. And the other J months, June and July, people are probably more focused on going to the lake and family time and holidays and July 4th and all the rest of it. And actually, we did have one Boost dealer in California comment to us just last week that store traffic was down because people were watching the World Cup. So I think that we're having a very seasonally slow summer, and we're seeing very low levels of advertising, particularly for Cricket and for Boost. So that's part of the slowness, but big picture, I would see this as sort of the lull between
Right.
elevated tax season sales and elevated back to school sales.
Yeah. Okay. I would have to agree with that. And it's funny, when I got to Boost way back, I saw the plan for the following year. And I saw the January, February, March, and I said, what's the justification? They said, this is your first tax season in prepaid, right? I said, yes. They said, just wait. We beat the number.
Right.
And so that was my education when I first saw it. What other trends are out there right now that you're seeing? Maybe around devices and BYOD.
Broadband for sure is a big trend. So I think it's old news by now that Metro, which has close to 6,000 stores, they're selling. They have routers in every store, and so they're ready, willing, and able to sell you sell broadband. T-Mobile was publicly reporting those numbers through the end of last year, so that's a factor. Then Total Wireless, all of a sudden they have 2,300 stores, and every single store we see has a display where they're selling fixed wireless services, and their stores actually in the Northeast are also selling FiOS, so they're doing a little bit of landline internet sales as well. And in Cricket, we see them selling. It's basically resold AT&T Internet Air Service, just not branded as such. Although they're looking into other things there, and we'll see that develop. Like in some of the legacy, U.S. West or Quantum markets, they're actually pitching fiber to some extent. And then what we're seeing with Boost is an interesting wrinkle on what they've done historically for broadband. So they have a long-term relationship with the cable companies where they sell prepaid cable internet access at their stores. And now there have been hundreds of Boost stores that now have Starlink displays. So they're selling Starlink internet. That's happened at several hundred stores. And we've actually written in our reports that we think that by the end of the summer, there will be more than 600 Boost stores that have Starlink displays.
So these are the established players that you just mentioned: Starlink and Xfinity, Charter, Cox. Are there any new people popping up? Or
we're not really seeing a whole lot of new players jump in and grab share, although there are a few companies that are certainly worth mentioning. So Consumer Cellular is taking the path of building their own stores, more than 100, as you mentioned. And then one other interesting entry, LinkUp Mobile, which now has more than 200,000 subscribers, and they're speaking at the All Wireless Prepaid Expo, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And we have seen them make their first appearance in the dealer channel. And they're also selling a lot via convenience stores / bodegas. So they've made an entrance. But to me, one of the other stories is that there have been a lot of sort of splashy MVNOs that have put out a press release and made great headlines. And then I have to ask, so where's the beef? Where are you actually selling? How are you selling? And if we're not seeing it in advertising it, we're not seeing it at national retail, we're not seeing it in the dealer channel, we're not seeing them opening stores, then how do we know that they're being successful at all? And Smartless Mobile, being an example. It's one thing to put out a snazzy looking press release, sign on a few celebrities, and appear on a late night talk show, and quite another to consistently execute a prepaid business.
Yeah, I want to touch on that a little bit later. That we've had some interesting celebrity type launches that to echo you, where's the beef? And for those of you who don't remember that, that was a wonderful Wendy's commercial back in probably the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know, but where's the beef? Show us what you're talking about. Where do you see though the fixed wireless fitting into our prepaid doors and the wireless channel in whole over the next 12 or 24 months?
I think it's growing as a channel because the carriers are they've gotten their hands on more spectrum and they're more able to sell fixed wireless, and they've productized it, and they've started to sell it in other ways. And we're also looking for more involvement potentially with landline wireless as well, because T-Mobile historically was never really a fiber competitor, but increasingly they are. Verizon obviously has fiber properties, and they recently acquired Frontier. And Quantum was recently acquired by AT&T, so there are more opportunities there. So we see nothing but growth for primarily wireless, but also wireline internet sales via prepaid stores.
My guest, as I said last week, Leo Levitt from Wingtel Alpha, was very adamant that for dealers to survive now, going back to competing against the MVNOs that are now really brands, that they need to embrace selling fixed wireless. And there seems to be a lot of non-acceptance. They haven't been able to figure out that to be competitive, you need to sell not just talk, text, and data. You need to be, broadening your offers. Are you seeing what's not in the stores on top of what is in the stores? Are you seeing independent dealers without broadband, without fixed wireless?
One thing that's interesting, so one problem that I think that true MVNOs that are not associated with one of the national carriers is facing is that the national carriers have not really productized for wholesale broadband access. So what you're seeing being sold at a Total Wireless store, for example, well, that's just another Verizon brand. And same thing for fixed wireless being sold at a Metro store. But for a true MVNO to sell it, there would need to be some sort of wholesale arrangement that I'm not sure is in place yet.
Okay.
One thing that we have seen, so when we do our survey of multi-carrier independent stores, in addition to wireless, we also see spectrum being sold quite a bit. But that's not really the focus of our survey, but just anecdotally, do we see spectrum signage? Do we hear reps talking about spectrum being sold? Absolutely, we do. So yeah, the cable companies in any aspect of the wireless market, they're increasingly a factor.
It seems like, to me at least, there's a new MVNO popping up every month. I'm reading press releases on things that I've never heard of. A company that launches, I go, who are these people? What do they do? And there's been a couple that have launched. You mentioned the late night folks, Smartless. Right here in New York City, Andrew Yang launched Noble Mobile. Are you seeing those products out there, or are they all online type activations?
We're not really seeing any traction for them. The only two brands that we're seeing among all the new brands that are independent that we're seeing real traction are Mobile X and LinkUp Mobile. And in both cases, these are companies that have really engaged the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo. They really engaged the dealers. I know that people from Mobile X are traveling around the United States, engaging dealers, getting them to sell their services. LinkUp Mobile is doing something similar. And the other brands that may have splashy press releases and nice looking websites, we're not really seeing them engage at that level.
Talk to me about LinkUp Mobile. I don't know if our audience is that familiar with them, what they do, what their differentiator. There's that word again. What are they doing?
Yeah, LinkUp Mobile, their point of differentiation is that it's sold largely via bodegas and convenience stores. They have certain relationships with some of these convenience stores that make it very easy for them to, while they're ordering, uh, you know, potato chips and sodas and cigarettes
Yeah.
and various other things, they can also order SIM cards and phones and various other things. So they're leveraging that part of the channel, but they're also in the independent multi-carrier dealer channel. They also have Torch Wireless, which is a lifeline service as well. And so, for via a combination of these things, and they've been heavily engaged at the All Wireless and Prepaid Expo. They've had a booth. One of their Darren Winfrey, their CFO, is speaking. They're very much engaged. So they've been able to report that they have more than 200,000 subscribers. So they're very interesting.
So, do you know what network these folks run?
Yes, LinkUp Mobile is using AT&T.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Okay, good. All right, good. It's interesting. All right. Well, listen. There is something that's going on out there that I think is just a great idea, and I know the people that are behind it. And I'm sure you do too. And that's Collegiate Mobile. That is that somebody sat down and really came up with a good plan there. Do you tell us about Collegiate Mobile, or I could?
Yes, Collegiate Mobile, they have more than a dozen MVNOs that have been set up already. They're using the T-Mobile network, and the brands are associated with a given university. So there's one associated with the University of Kentucky, the University of California, Oregon State, Troy University, and several others. So it's like more than a
Yep.
dozen universities that have a
Washington,
brand
yep,
that is
UCLA, yep, yep.
they
I
have
know
a brand
USC,
that's
one of them. Yeah,
associated
yeah,
with their university. What
yeah.
we don't know is what level of success they have because they have not reported a subscriber count as yet. And we are seeing some level of activity from them. We're seeing tables being set up on campuses, a little bit of awareness via Instagram and via sporting events. So I would say it's too early to judge whether or not they're being successful. They're very young. They're very actively rolling out MVNOs. I would say that that's a situation that we should monitor.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because it is out of the box, and I guess it's for people that have that loyalty to their college, like a lot of us do. I go back every year to where I went and have kept up the friendships over all these years, and the alumni and the sporting teams, and then I see that now the swag is being merchandise is out there. It's yeah, I hope they do well because it's good for competition. And that's like when you talk about where else could I start an MVNO that's non-traditional, that's not a retailer, it's not an IoT play. It's going to a base of customers like a large insurance company or whoever that has 15, 16 million people within their organization or customers of that brand, and start to offer them mobile. So that's good. I like the initiative there. Okay, we're going to wrap it up, but before we do, let me ask: is there anything else that the independent wireless dealers should be offering to their customers other than broadband, which obviously includes fixed wireless access and now satellite? What other products or services could independent retailers in the wireless space offer to their customers to stay competitive, to increase margins, et cetera?
So for the dealers of Cricket, Metro, Boost, and Total Wireless, the additional things that they can sell that they are currently selling would be things like tablet plans, smartwatches and smartwatch plans, things like Bluetooth speakers and other accessories and insurance. Those are basically the things that we're seeing those dealers sell. But if we talk about the independent multi-carrier dealer channel, what they sell, it's all over the charts. I mean, everything from cigarettes to food to snack chips to gasoline. you name it. They sell a little bit of everything.
That's the Quick Checks and 7-Elevens. I don't think you're going to walk into a Jeff Moore Wireless, and in 5 of his stores you can, buy a pack of cigarettes. Any other, I mean, why can't they, or why should they not be selling what you mentioned that the brands are selling, like watches, wearables, iPads?
Yeah, so I think several of the things that could be sold in the independent multi-carrier dealer channel, one would be device protection, another would be accessories. Financing is something that, particularly if you want to buy an expensive iPhone or an expensive Galaxy device. And then the other thing that's very much worth mentioning is repair services.
Yes.
We see less of that in the carrier-owned channel and a lot more of that in multi-carrier independent channel. As a matter of fact, some of the stores that we survey actually go to market as repair stores. We will repair your phone. Oh, and by the way, while we're repairing your phone, we're going to activate Simple Mobile or Ultra Mobile.
Right to repair movement is strong. It's growing. More states are passing legislation for that, and they just had their show here in New Jersey and Atlantic City last month, the Right to Repair show, and people that were there said it was very well attended and very informational. So that's I think repair should be part of the independent dealers. You know that when you walk into the corporate-owned stores, mostly postpaid, but still, they want you to get in and get out. They want to, especially T-Mobile with their T-Life, where they just want you to come in and, self-serve yourself and get out. There's not a whole lot of repair going on there. I could be mistaken. So if anybody at T-Mobile wants to reach out, and I can correct myself. Well, Jeff, it was a pleasure to see you again and have this conversation. You are a wealth of information, not only for people on this side of the microphone, but also for the people out there, that are managing a huge amount of retail stores, small dealers as well. And what you provide to show trends and to help with decision making is unmatched in our industry. So continue. Good luck to you and Wave 7 Research. I will see you in a few weeks in Las Vegas. So for anybody that wants to attend the show, I think the exhibit floor is most likely sold out, but obviously you can come in and visit and network, as you said earlier, network there. Just go to allwirelessexpo.com there. It's right. You can see it there on the screen. And it's a terrific show. We use the words must see, must go, don't miss. And they've earned that in mine and many other people's opinions. This is this show to go to in the U.S. So I will see you there, Jeff, and looking forward to catching up as always with you and all the other industry folks that make this thing of ours work. Okay, so that is going to wrap up another episode of the Boon of Wireless. But as always, we'll see you next time. Do you want to be a guest on the Boon of Wireless podcast? Give us a call at 908-THE-BOON. Yes, 908-843-2666.